Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Welcome to buildhubjb.com live talk show. I'm Hui Ming. Thank you, everyone, for being here with us today. Buildhubjb.com is the first search engine for building construction in Johor. It is the online platform for end users to connect with the professionals when it comes to building construction matters. You could visit our website at www.buildhubjb.com to know more. In line with buildhubjb.com, a series of talk shows will be conducted every month on topics ranging from building, construction, property management, green building by invited guest speakers from various professions, organizations, institutions, and industry partners. So our topic for the day is engineering students. Are you ready for the post-pandemic world? We are very honored to have 4 guest speakers here with us today. They are Engineer Benny Cheng Yoleng, Dr. Izzah binti Aminuddin, Mr. Wong Chin Liang, Engineer Felix Lim Giziong, and we have Miss Alexis to be our moderator today. I hope you are having a great morning, Alexis.
Hi, Hui Ming.
Hi.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Now over to you, Alexis.
Yeah, thank you. I'm Alexis. I'm the civil and structural engineer. In this pandemic crisis, sometimes I will ask myself, what would I feel if I were an engineering student now? Will I feel actually nothing? Worried? Lost or determined? Perhaps you could tell us during the Q&A section. You could write this at the chat box, or raise your hand and we will open your video and audio during the Q&A section. This is why today we are talking about this topic. Today we have 4 guest speakers here. Our first speaker is Engineer Benny Cheng Yoleng. Engineer Benny is a BEN registered electrical professional engineer with 10 years experience in planning, designing and contracting for several different industries. Those industries include telecommunication, power electric design, defense or security system surveillance, and traffic automation that provide solutions for industry needs in the challenging market needs. Hi, Benny.
Hi, thank
How
you
are
for
you?
the invitation. Good.
Yeah,
Glad
I'm
to
good
have
to
you
see
on.
you here. Our second speaker is Dr. Izzah binti Aminuddin. Dr. Izzah is a senior lecturer in the Department of Structural and Materials, School of Civil Engineering, University Technology Malaysia. She's completed Bachelor and Doctor of Philosophy in Civil Engineering from UTM, and her enthusiasm in research and education has brings her out to the date more than 50 publications published when involving herself in multidisciplinary research project. We developed a number of award-winning research products and services that have been patented trademark in construction industry. These include construction management, sustainable in construction, building information modeling, economics in construction, and emerging technology in construction. Hi, Dr. Izzah.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Yeah, fine, thank you.
Yeah, I saw you wear the UTM uniform.
Yes, UTM di hatiku.
Yeah,
I'm bringing
good.
the
Di
UTM
hatiku.
logo today. Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
Okay, our third speaker is Mr. Wong Chin Liang. Chin Liang is a construction manager servicing in CIDB G7 Construction Company. He graduated as Bachelor of Civil Engineering and Master in Construction Management from University of Technology Malaysia, UTM. He has 11 years of experience in construction and development management in construction industry with fast-track project and commercial buildings. He majored in project scheduling management and safety and health assessment in construction. Hi, Chin Liang.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah, how are you?
Bye here.
Yeah, thank you. Good to see you here.
All right, me too.
Our fourth speaker is Engineer Felix. Engineer Felix is a BEM registered civil professional engineer with over 10 years experience in handling local and international projects. The project handle range from residential, commercial, and industrial. He is also part of the structural design teams for JB's iconic high-rise towers. Felix's experience covers from project planning, design, contract procurement, site project implementation, and project completion. His rank is in major civil infra planning and land development planning. He also handled a lot of construction dispute cases, and some cases even happened due to structural failure. Hi, Felix.
Hi, everyone. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Yep, I'm fine. Thank you.
Good to see you here. Good to see all four speakers here. So,
Yep.
okay, so we start our today's topic is when we in this pandemic crisis. Actually, now all our economy already open, and we are enter RNCO now. It seems like are we actually in the recovering path? We are actually not sure, but I think it's actually moving. So, Felix, what do you think? What are the construction insights amid the COVID-19 pandemic?
Okay, thanks, Alexis. Maybe I try to refresh what has been happening for the past 3 months. Yeah, because of this COVID. Because this COVID-19 did really impact to the whole world, not just Malaysia. It's actually happening to the whole world. It's a pandemic matter. So just to refresh your mind, this COVID-19 has temporarily stopped our construction field for the past 3 months. And the impact from stopping the works on site is actually can go in many different ways. Maybe I just give a bit of example. If there's no works in this country, especially construction works, the Malaysia government don't have any income from the tax income. So Malaysia government just informed that they have been losing about 63 billion ringgit Malaysia since MCO came into force on March 18. All right. So looking at this figure, once the construction stop, that means it might be affecting the economy of the Malaysia. So when it affects the economy of Malaysia, then people don't have any extra money to buy properties in Malaysia, to buy their own home. Maybe some of the owner, they wanted to buy some new offices, new shop lot for their business purposes. But because of this pandemic, there's no job, there's no income, so they don't have any extra money to buy. And of course, it will directly affect the properties market in Malaysia. All right, because as we know, the construction field, we depend more than 50% on the properties selling. All right, so now from what I can see is from the properties wise, there are two types of properties that might be affected badly. The first one will be the hotel, because I don't think people will like to travel by this time. And the second thing is the commercial part. The commercial part can be at the part when people selling things, selling food, selling goods, and even the offices as well. Because most of people the government also encourage all of our Malaysian to work from home. That means there's no demand more on the on the commercial offices properties. So I'm talking about JB properties market might be facing formidable hurdles due to COVID-19, as Singaporeans are not allowed to travel into Malaysia for the time being. I don't know whether you guys are aware or not, but in JB market, we depends a lot from the investor from the Singapore, because they contribute a lot of our sales numbers in JB. So if that is the case, Singaporean might be hesitate to buy a property in Malaysia. For those Malaysian who is working in Singapore, bankers will spend more time and more effort to access their loan application. Because why? Because now, because of this pandemic, and because some of the economic issue in Singapore, because I think Singapore also facing some economic issues. So a lot of people already been retrenched. So when the bankers look at the location of you're working in Singapore, then they maybe put more effort. But this one is not only, how to say, not only happen to the Singapore. I mean, when they look at Malaysian that is working in Malaysia also, there will be more stringent of a condition in order for them to release the fund, to release the loan. So all these factors will actually affect the construction in Malaysia, especially in JB. Doesn't care whether you like it or not. But the good news is for those who are cash rich, that's loaded, this will be the greatest time for them to buy all the, how to say, all the properties, because there's so many promotion now from the bankers, from the developers, and even from the government, because now the lowest interest rate has been given. But please bear in mind, this lowest rate, of course the interest rate is low, but it still depends on whether you can get the loan or not. If although the interest rate is very low, but you cannot get the loan, it's made nothing different. All right. So I think for the construction market in Malaysia will be moving towards to a very, very bad situation now. So all of us, including our engineering students, shall be prepared. I mean, 100% prepared to adapt the new norm of our construction market. Yeah, that's my insight, Alexis.
Yeah, so it actually means that like what Felix are mentioning, that our construction is mainly I think big part is due to this property development. So once there's no demand on the property, so it actually do impact to our construction industry. So how about Benny outside? What do you see in our engineering industry now? What's the actually impact to our engineering industry?
Okay. I'd like to just share a little bit, like just now, Speaker Felix has mentioned. No doubt, the COVID-19 has stopped a lot of activity, mainly on the construction side or on the entertainment side. Productivity in our country has fallen. Right? Actually, for us to have the economy is muchly based on productivity. When we produce, yes, then we can sell, and when we can sell, yes, then we can increase our economy, country's economy as well. So I believe, like Speaker Felix has mentioned, government had taken some steps to help to encourage all of us to come back to the economy, to boost up, whether in terms of lowering the loans, the interest rate of the loans, or help in providing some stimulus package to the business owner. Okay, but how does it relate back to students? Okay, maybe some students can be aware of financial. When this COVID-19 hits us, all works are stopped. So nobody will pay something that you do not work on. So on that cash flow, it stops. All right, but what about loans? What about the things that you take on credits to buy something? You still need to pay the loans. Loans still continue. So some people live day by day by whatever they earn and they pay. Then when that 3 months of a gap stops, some people who have savings will still be all right. But those who do not have savings, they will be caught in this situation. Right? Companies, whether big or small, they run on cash flow. They need input, they need output. If there is no input, there's no output. All right. So when this thing stops, no doubt it will affect every one of us, especially even the students. Now, I believe also the students have highlighted, they are still going to university. They still need to pay the school fees. But the time that they attend the session or lectures has been reduced to just like here, Zoom webinars. So how does it affect? It affects everyone. So in my case is that COVID-19 is not here to stay. It's just a short period. You can take this opportunity to do something that you find it always very no time to do. Some insight in the construction, where Malaysians are always so busy doing something, but they forget to upgrade themselves. This is a time where we can really look into the structural as well as the efficiency of how do we do things now and then we rework, upgrade ourselves, see how can we be competitive among the international players, not just within Malaysians, but whether we with Singapore, because nowadays we can see how do we manage the pandemic with one another in between countries. But what about development? Are we falling back behind on certain technology advancement, engineering advancement? Are we falling back on certain skills that we can push up our Malaysians' knowledge on this coming when the pandemic COVID-19 has been over? Vaccines has been found. It's been promising what we have if you are following the news, but there will be a mass production. It will take about a year time or more. But during this time, what can we do to prepare ourselves when the economy recovers back? Right? No doubt people are not spending because they're worried on the situation. Nobody want to invest. So they have a lot of cash. And when the COVID-19 has been lifted, tourism will be revived. People will need to travel. Students will need to go back home, travel back home and come over. They will encourage a lot of activity. And then by that time, are you ready? Are you ready? Are we ready for that boost? Or are we waiting, hoping that something comes? So my insight will be we get ourselves always be competitive on not only in Malaysia level, but in the international level. As I believe all the students have access to google.com. I mean, with a lot of knowledge which is online. That will be my thoughts on these insights that how can we face this issue, because we have several what do you call this, no doubt company has stopped, they are slowly recovering back, right? We are trying to push forward what we can do. The older generation have to learn how to use Zoom. They all have to use this sharing through the webinar to be able to communicate with one another with the contractors site. So to do something, we cannot stop. We need to move. If we cannot run, we walk. If we cannot walk, we crawl.
Yeah, so Benny, what you say is quite right. Even now, this pandemic actually made us like a pause for the three months. So I believe that after when the economy is slowly recovering, so we actually need to get prepared for the economy to rebound. So we had to get prepared ourselves. So how about Tina, your side? How the pandemic is actually changing the behavior within the construction industry? What's it actually for the builder side? What is actually happening now? Jillian, maybe your side can give us a view on this one.
All right. Okay. Hi, everyone. Okay, I'm Wong. Actually, I was more in the construction line. So, of course, for this one, COVID pandemic period, definitely the construction is a lot of effect. So, what in terms of the costing, in terms of the manpower, and also in terms of the activity for the site progress. So, we are talking about the manpower first, because the COVID-19 is during the period start on the March, April, and the May. So definitely can resume the work is start on June. Of course, during the 3 months, the COVID MCO periods, a lot of workers from the Indonesia, they are trying to going back to their hometown because they are going to celebrate their Hari Raya holiday in their hometown Indonesia. So during that period, in the market, construction market, I think is a shortage of the manpower. So now, although now the MCO already leave, a lot of workers in their hometown, they are unable to come back to Malaysia to resume to start their work. So now, I think now the construction, although in the JB or in the KL, either in the Malaysia, they are short of the manpower. Is the first thing. Second things, all the manpower, they need to conduct the COVID test as per government requirement. So during on the second MCO, the government already start out the COVID tax SOP for all the construction field. A lot of contractors, they are make the noise because the COVID tax first in the Malaysia, they only provide just few hundred thousand of the test kit for the Malaysia. So imagine in the whole of Malaysia, if let's say they want to start a construction, how many COVID tests they can go to conduct and for effort enough for all the workers. So definitely during the second MCO, definitely although the government they come to SOP say that can go for the application to start work, but although the application successful, also we cannot fully 100% to start the work because of the COVID tax. So until the June, so some of the import of the COVID tax, the equipment import from the other country. So only we're able to arrange our workers, our staff go to do this one COVID test. Then after COVID test, we get the result. Only can do only can 100% resuming the work. So this is talking about manpower. And the second thing is the cost. Of course, because our construction, usually you are doing the progress claim. Like for example, like on the February is our Chinese New Year. So Chinese New Year, definitely a lot of job is rushing to complete. Then after the complete, we have to submit the claim, the final claim to the client, to the our existing the contractor. Unfortunately, the March we started the MCO period. So all the accounting, the financial all stopped because the office is not working. So therefore, how about our progress claim money? So definitely we cannot blame them. Definitely they are not working in the office. Although they are working from home, their bosses also in overseas, their bosses in another house want to get the signature also difficult to get it. So means February progress on the February the progress claim definitely already gone, already delayed, and come up to March, April, and the May. So only the June we only able to accept the progress claim for the February month. So I think in the construction is very suffer now. A lot of contractors they try to survive. Now the people say which contractor can survive now means that they want the company is a strong finance. This is what the people say. So the cash flow is low. Definitely the cash flow is low. Like just now the Benny said, some of people to do the investment like the materials and they loan the money to buy the material from the import country. So definitely they will affect also. The last is the construction activities. So because of the COVID pandemic period, the government, MITI and the CIDB, they set a lot of SOP. The SOP is not easy to conduct and also not easy to fulfill. Let's say you want the social distancing. So try to imagine how the worker can do the work with the social distancing 1 meter, between 1 meter and 1.5 meter. And the worker need to wearing their facial mask. And early morning they want to check their temperature, body temperature. One day they want to check 3 times. And then all their working place, their worker dormitory, worker quarter, all need to do the disinfection. So everything need to record. So all the record you just stand by for the authorities to come to the project construction site for the checking. I think from the news we heard that from the news a lot of construction had been sealed off to stop work because they can't to fulfill the SOP 100%. So what I said to conclude here is after the COVID pandemic period, definitely the construction field a lot of effect, and hopefully this one the construction will come back as usual, and the worker also can come back as soon as possible after the government their regulation and they lose don't lose rate. Okay, to helping us to make sure the economy to grow up again, to resume back. So this is what I want to share.
So seems like for the builder side is is recovering now. But Jilian, how do you think for this recovering? how many percent will you say on your this, like your company, how many percent of recovering up to today?
Today, okay, be honest here, 50% only.
50% only.
50% only.
It's a
Because
not a very good.
yeah, because the cash flow is really low now. Some more because the construction we are very, we are how to say, we are depend on this one, the cash flow lah, the finance. We need the money, then we need to pay the worker wages and the material, everything. So since the COVID period, so the finance will become the tight. But so far, luckily, our company still okay. Still okay, but we need more work harder, and we need to more hardworking to find a more job. Whatever is big and small, also need to fight it lah.
Yeah, yes. Okay. How about for Iza, your side? For university, what are the big changes now?
Okay, hi, good morning, everyone. All right, so if you look into the university side, okay, I think almost all the students is already prepared because currently the teaching is online, and looking into the whole process of pandemic. I mean, this pandemic is actually changing the whole process. I mean, we're not looking into the construction itself, but we're also looking into the academic side point of view. So I can say that almost all the students is ready. That is the thing that I was so happy, because they have to face the challenges, meaning to say when it comes to the problems or the difficulties on the line and internet, of course, because that is the major thing, the networking. So I can see that the student is know how to adapt and know how to adopt. So they willing to take the challenge, even though it is quite hard for them to survive in this pandemic. But I can see on the other side, for example, like university, for those that have problem in terms of having the internet, they also have certain fund to give to the students under B40 for this networking. I mean, they can still buy the I mean, we giving them certain fund to buy this in terms of the networking, the line, the internet.
So now, so for the university side, do the student actually back to university?
Okay, currently UTM already said the student cannot enter the university until end of the year. So even we almost finished this semester, all is online, even for the final exam, because actually this is the week where the final exam started. So all is online, and we do have teaching online. So if you do have problem, we can just browse back, because some of this lecture we have to conduct our teaching, and some of it we use asynchronous and also synchronous, so meaning face to face, or either they record and post it inside the e-learning. So I can see that UTM so far, the students of UTM, they are very resilient. Why I said that? Because even though they have difficulty, they can still adapt and learn how to adapt with this COVID-19.
Yeah, sometimes I always think that students are very good to catch out in IT terms. That's why what I think. So like all those like Zoom meeting, all those is related to IT. Actually, they are very fast to catch out one.
They have to learn themselves. That's the important part, which I think they are resilient, and we are top in the world. If you can learn yourself to adapt this situation, so I can see that all the students is actually very good.
Yeah, so just like what Benny are mentioning just now, what we should do now is actually prepare ourselves. We had to keep learning. We had to keep learning all the while. So when we're talking about the IT, Dr. Iza, so we have been talking about IR 4.0 for the past few years. I think this pandemic is actually the catalyst for this IR 4.0. So do you think our Malaysia actually is ready for this IR 4.0?
All right. So looking into the IR4, maybe can I just share the slide presentation so that the students are clear
Yes,
enough
yes, please.
by, I mean, the definition of the IR4. So if you can see here, okay, is everyone can see the slide presentation?
Yes, yes, can see.
Okay, you're able to see. All right.
Yeah.
So if you can see, when we talk about IR4 first, all right, Malaysia, hopefully by I think somewhere around 2 to 3 months, they're going to announce what is actually the strategy plan of our construction 4.0. So I will siphon a bit for now, but I can just explain to you what is actually the IR4. So Malaysia is going into this area. I mean, like we are going towards digitalization um, and automation in construction. When we talk about digitalization, automation, it is actually a part of Industrial Revolution 4.0. So looking into the definition of IR4, it means that we are stepping one step to another, meaning to say when we talk about IR 1.0, when we talk about back in 1970s, we are using all the manuals to undergo this construction. We use sand and clay to develop the house, I mean to build the house. But moving into IR 2.0, 3.0, and now we are talking about 4.0. So when this pandemic happened, it is more on adapting new changes, which is we try to use up all these digital tools, technology. So a part of it is actually we try to have like full scale of prefabrication. So if you can see here, number one, when we talk about IO4, okay, this is under World Economic Forum, okay, they already come up with 10 elements, but Malaysia, I will siphon a bit, but I will just tell you that we have 12 important direction when we talk about Industrial 4, which also we're going to have blockchain as a part of the tools. So we can see here, there are 10 types of IR4, which is prefabrication and modular construction. So we try to bring all this IBS, the prefabrication, PPVC, and we try to have these advanced building materials. Okay, we try to produce 3D printing. Okay, these are all the terms that we try to have the strategy, but of course after the strategy would be the action plan. So the government of Malaysia is trying to set part by part, bit by bit, and of course they're going to have a group of task force to deliver this. So we also have this autonomous construction. So nowadays we can see the drones, okay, the usage of this IBS, okay, and also the BIM, building information modeling. So later I'm gonna explain a bit about the BIM. We also need to know about the AR and VR. So when you need to adapt this technology, of course, the student itself must be prepared. Why I'm saying this is because, like I mentioned earlier, if you guys are doing our, I mean, during our presentation last year, it is important for students to learn BIM, building information modeling, because these are the important tools, especially when it comes to this pandemic. If you know how to derive BIM, you can actually integrate the softwares, the tools at home without going to the site. So these are the things, the coordination that we try to adapt with the whole new, I can see, I can say as the new restructuring of construction. So I mean, yes, pandemic does affect. So if we do have all this IR4 technology, we are actually can just use all the tools, the technology, by using our hand, for example, because we click and we try to assign the robots to do all this work. So these are all the technology that currently we are pursuing, okay? Even in our university, me myself, I mean, and of course, all the lecturers, we are trying to look and adapt what are all the research that needed in encounter the technology, especially on robotics. When we talk about robotics, also it is about AI, artificial intelligence, to be embedded in our construction industry. So okay, so I do hope a bit intro on the IR4.
Mm. So seems like actually we have this full set of how the construction actually to do in this for this IR 4.0, and so we will start now. We will enter our first Q&A section before we move to the challenge and opportunity of the engineering student. So for our this Q&A section, perhaps we let me see the chat box first. I saw there are 2 questions from the student. The first one is I had a question to ask. Does the construction company in Malaysia already implemented BIM? Does if students have knowledge about BIM got advantages on the current industry? So I think just now, Dr. Iza, your side actually mentioning on this. You want to talk more about this one?
Okay, maybe I would like to share a bit. Okay, Lukman, thank you for your question. You did mention, does the construction company in Malaysia already implement a BIM? Maybe later we're going to have a point of view from our construction industry practitioner, Benny, maybe Chin or Felix can talk about that. But in the point of university, I just would like to share. Currently, sorry, if I may share the screen. Okay, so if you can see, okay, BIM. For us in university, we are trying to start it because BIM is very huge. When we talk about BIM, it is about the whole life cycle of construction industry. We are talking about, I mean, from the design phase until the O&M operation and maintenance. So yes, because once you learn about BIM, you have to know the integration of the whole process, whereby you, as for civil engineer, you need to know how to model the beam, I mean the house, the building, and then after that you have to do the design on the restructuring, and on the architecture side you wanted to see how the environment, I mean in terms of the thermal analysis, these are all these data that we try to integrate. So yes, university, we are on that process. We are trying to have more fun because of course BIM relates more on a very superpower computer. We need to have high performance, so we are on that process because we have to apply for the fund to have a very good superpower computer. But nowadays I think the lecturer also bit by bit we are trying to start to learn how to use BIM, and perhaps even me myself, I'm going to go to the industry, I'm going to attach with the GKR to learn more on how the BIM been implemented for the construction, the whole life cycle. We are talking about the procurement, the contracts, how this BIM can interrelated one another. And I would like to share, okay, with the students, when you talk about how BIM can be implemented in the construction industry, these are a part of the program that has been set up by CIDB together with MyBIM Center and UMP, whereby they have this apprenticeship program. Okay, they just started last week. So for those that going to finish your study, I hope by this month, right, try to apply this kind of program, okay, because we do have this program and it's free. You can see it is being subsidized 100%. The tuition fees is free. You got the fees under CIDB. You are the BIM modeler. They provide you food and everything. So try to find whatever program that has in our construction industry, in order for you to learn how to use it first, because I'm sure some of you just know how to use to model by using Revit, but the integration, the whole process of life cycle, Naviswork and everything, you yourself have to learn first. I'm sure if you do have the knowledge, for this pandemic kind point of view, actually you will be paid even more higher. I'm sure about that. So that is my point of view, Alice. It's come back to you.
So how about Benny side? You think for our construction site, actually for this being are we actually in adopt in our engineering industry?
Okay, let me be frank. Okay, right now, most of our drawings are done by drafters, and drafters are trained from IKM, right? Institute Kemahiran Malaysia. So I believe for the start, engineer must at least understand the basics of BIM, right? Because looking forward, our industry is slowly moving into BIM. Okay, but we must still have jobs for our drafters. They also need to upgrade themselves. So in our company, the consultancy side, we're actually using BIM right now. But for the younger generation, for new grads, fresh grad, we do encourage them to learn a little bit about BIM, right? Because it helps in the industry to look at the coordination point part, where the M&E, the architecture, and the civil can come together to reduce, first of all, to reduce coordination problem where there's a clashes of services, and as well the coordination of space as well with everyone. When cut section, make it very fast and easy for everyone to coordinate. But everyone must have the same knowledge, right? If you ask me, BIM will slowly develop within this 1 to 2 years time. Some will not implement BIM because of the cost. Because BIM software compared to AutoCAD software, I can give you a range. AutoCAD is about 2,000 for 3 years, but Revit, now our company is using Revit. Revit is about 20,000. It's about 10 times for the licensing for one PC. So considering the investment cost, if the developer don't see the need to have BIM, while a lot of people have not catch up, have not the knowledge to push this idea of Revit or BIM, they will not proceed. Because how they want to use this BIM is to assist in the expedite of all the drawings and the constructions. If let's say nobody knows how to use BIM, if nobody want to spend extra more for this BIM to improve the accuracy, then most likely the project will not use BIM. They will still stick back to the AutoCAD drawings. Because for now, we have a lot of foreign workers. I mean, last year, before the COVID pandemic, a lot of foreign workers, they're relying on foreign workers to work. A lot of them, they don't have a laptop or a PC to look at the BIM drawing in reference of what they're going to construct on site. So all of them are building on the printed 2D drawings to do the work. So looking at that, engineers, it is highly recommended to have BIM because we need to know the coordination point part. Okay, and drafters, I hope that the government will do something to encourage this program BIM also to all the drafters, so that we can work together with the engineers. Okay, engineers, we also have to learn BIM in order so that we can check drawings or little amendment from here and there.
Yeah, what you say is quite true, really. So we got another question from the chat box. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for all panels. My name is Ainu, and I am UTM civil engineering student. My question is, which one should be priority between enhance my soft skill, especially design software, and seeking for a job? As I read on LinkedIn or any media social right now, it's hard to find job in construction industry, especially fresh graduate. So maybe Felix, you start. You want to talk about this one? What do you think?
Yeah, actually, I don't quite understand on what is the question. Can you find which student that asked? Maybe you can open up the video, the microphone.
Shafika,
to
Shafika,
her.
we will try to find you. Do you think you want to open we'll invite you to open the video. Then do you want to talk directly to our speaker? I think Shafika actually asking, is it difficult for the fresh grad to find job?
Maybe
Just now.
take a little bit on this. Is it okay?
Yep.
Okay. Maybe right now the question I look at it is like she's asking during this time, what should be her priority? Whether she needs to enhance soft skill or looking for a job. Because right now I think she says she read on social media, it is very hard to find job in the construction industry, especially fresh graduate. Yes, I think, Felix, nowadays we don't employ new people, right? We are trying to sustain whatever we have in our company because there's no cash flow. Employment means additional overhead. Additional overhead means that we need to have more input to be able to churn out more output. So in that case, I would say even be open. I would say engineers be open to work in different sector during this time, knowing that a lot of company are holding back to try to maintain whatever they have. So look into different sectors, maintenance, or whether in certain factories or in totally another field within this period of time. If you're talking, you say equip yourself with several skills, soft skills or online skills, right? Get exposure to the market. It may not be relevant to you, but at least you build yourself a networking for your leverage later on when the market has already improved. Stay competitive, get yourself work on the field, sharpen your skill, and then be relevant. Whatever you choose, always do something that it can help you to be relevant in your later job that you're applying to. I would say look at yourself, what skills do you have? What can you offer to the company that you want to work with? Right? Later, I'll share a little bit on this, on the areas that you can look at. This is a photo, okay? I was taken this from Boston Consulting, all right? What are the areas that are slowly recovering from the pandemic sectors? What are not so likely to recover as fast as the others, all right? Looking at this, look at your position yourself. What are you studying right now? What is in demand? Apply. You still need to submit all the application for the interview and job application. And then I don't know, I heard now they got all online interviews, right? Leaks.
Um, I'm not too sure about that because I don't think now the current condition, people are still taking a new, especially engineers. People are looking for the workforce that will be willing to work at site, like a project manager or supervisor, something like that. But I'm not too sure about engineering students. I'm not going to how to say, make everybody not so worried, but it is a fact that engineering student for this for now until the end of the year, I think there will be nothing for them to how to say, job that's suitable for them. But of course, this is not forever. This is not forever. I'm quite confident that by early of next year, everything will be going back to the normal. But yeah, I think maybe Benny, you can share what should the student move forward and how to do it. Yep. So
okay. Thanks. So okay, like I was saying, that staying competitive, sharpen your skills, and then keep yourself to be relevant on whatever job that you're doing right now. So fresh grad, look at yourself how you want to assist in the pandemic COVID-19. Everyone is trying to push forward. And Iza, you mentioning the upgrading of BIM skill. We are looking for people who also have that BIM skills to contribute. In fact, while I'm upgrading my people from drafters, I need people who can teach my drafters to use BIM. I'm willing to pay that. All right, communication with the market industry is very relevant for all of us to move forward.
Maybe I would like to share a bit. I mean, like I also like to request students, you have to learn yourself. I mean, try to learn how to use BIM, because even though if let's say you can't get any job in these few months, you can try to Google inside the Facebook. There are Facebook group under building information modeling that I can see every day. They will and they ask, is there anybody that knows how to use, at least to model the Revit by using Revit. So I think that is very good because it's quite simple if you learn yourself. And looking into just now, actually I would like to add on, the government is actually trying to make this BIM as as the main enforcement, I mean, every construction industry have to use BIM, but they are on the process of developing the procurement on the procurement side. And after this, I believe like every construction industry is like IBS. For certain amount of like 1 million project above, you have to use BIM, you have to use. So these are all the I mean the stepping stone that students, you need to learn and prepare yourself with BIM knowledge. So how to do it, how to get to know YouTubes. They have lots of YouTubes, try to learn. And like I mentioned, try to Google, because here IDB, they have this apprenticeship program. Even I can see like now they have like lots of webinar. So try to prepare yourself and try to market yourself, even though it's online. They started to get this. I mean, you can get job even though you are at home. So that's for now.
Yeah, so just now what Shafika actually is bring us to our second topic, which is on the opportunity and challenge. So before we go into this our second part, I think we would like to do one poll section, is actually to see how many of the student, which year of your university are you in now? The student you side can help us to vote on this one, so we can roughly see how many of you actually in year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, or master student. Okay, so while we're waiting for this poll we will give another 10 seconds to end this poll. I think most of the students are actually from last year student, 4th year student. So those students are going to graduate soon. So I understand, I think year 4 is the one they're actually taking their final exam now, right? Or the exam. So which means after this exam, they are going to graduate.
Yeah, they're gonna graduate soon.
So our result is actually we got,
Alex,
sorry?
I received a Q&A on salary.
Q&A on salary, private. So okay, so we for this question, okay, now we enter this second part. What are the challenges, the opportunity and challenges? So maybe Felix, your side, what do you think? What are their challenges now for the engineer? Especially we got so many last year students here.
Alexis, can I give a few minutes for my point of view?
Okay.
Just like the Shafika, she asking about the opportunity for the construction industry. Actually, Shafika, actually you no need to worry so much, because it's a period for the COVID pandemic period. So I think you try to fulfill this period. I mean, you try to learn more things, not only the soft skills. I mean, the more important now is interaction. So now a lot of people, they try to fully use the internet and the Zoom and the Facebook, everything live for their interaction. So now the people to do the interaction, because why? They want to try to show their face, okay, their face to the market. So let the market to recognize you. So of course, nowadays it's very difficult to apply the job. Now I think all the bosses if let's say the bosses want to ask you to come to interview, I think the HR department they will go through your profile. Very easy now. Nowadays very easy. They just create your names and your profile through the Facebook or whatever, your education, your university posting. We can check your profile, everything. So my advice is try to interaction yourself. I mean, put more positive, like nowadays the youngest they like to emotional in their Facebook. Whatever things no good, everything they like to post in their Facebook. But actually it's a quite negative image impression to everyone. So why not you try to think positive and do some positive things, post some good things to sharing. So one of these the HR I mean the human resource like the job street or the linker, everything, they go through your profile, say, hey, these people is good. It's a positive thinking, and the mindset, attitude is very good. I think definitely the people will call you. So no worry so much. So this is my advice to the fresh graduate student. Try to fully use your interaction through this one, the internet. All right.
Yeah, thanks, Gillian. So I think Shafika, you got so many panel to answer your question. Yeah, it's good. So we are talking about the opportunity and challenge. So Felix, what do you think? What are those engineers? I think we now got a first year student. We also got a third year, fourth year. So first year student would think, hey, is it I enter the right path or not? I don't know. So they're just started. Those are already going to finish. What are their opportunity? What do you think?
Okay, I'm so glad that I can see there is a year one student that interested in our talk. That means you really seriously think of what you're going to do for the rest of your whole life. I mean, maybe not for the whole life, but during your career life. So I can say for the year one student, you don't have nothing to worry because you still have a long way to go. When the time you come out, the market will be, I think, will be have the how to say, the best time you will have, because now you're year one, then you will need another 3 years. Then when you're after 3 years, the market will be slow, not slowly. I think that is the booming period, one of the booming period. They are going reach towards the peak. So year one student, congratulations, you have nothing to worry. You just continue to study very hard on your how to say, on your study. And but the first thing that I wanted to remind on the year one student is maybe you might need to think back again, rethink again why you choose engineering. You choose it because of your interest, you choose it because your friend choosing the same subject, or is it because of your parents or your relative? You must be really think of it. All right, because we don't want you to you start studying, then you study halfway, you think I don't want to do that, then it's just wasted your time, just wasted your parents' money, your money, and yeah, you just wasted your time. That is the most important thing. Okay, for the year three students, I think I know how you feel, because like me myself, I think most of the panel here, we have our year three on about year 2008, 2009. If you can recall it, actually 2008 is the last recession that we have, that is happening at whole world. During that time, I don't know what is the recession is. I don't care about it. Then, but I am so lucky that when I come out to work on 2009, everything is picking up quite smoothly. But that one is purely just because of economic recession. They got nothing to do with this pandemic, because this pandemic is uncontrollable. It cannot be controlled until the vaccine has been discovered. So it's kind of different case if you compare 2008 and 2020, because 2008, when you have a good finance, you have a good government with all the stimulus package, everything should be all right. But for the 2020, it will much more depend on the vaccine. But I believe that, like what Benny said just now, the vaccine discovering is quite promising. I believe that by next year, the vaccine will be out, and everything will be go back to the normal. Then for the year three, I think it's still okay, still manageable. Okay, we have talking about the year four, we have 60% of the year four here. And maybe I share some thought, and what are the opportunities and challenging once you finish your study, what you're going to do now, not what you're going to do next. There are two types. One is your continue your study to doctorate to PhD. The other thing is, the other way is you come out to the industry, you work with the industry. So because of this pandemic for the past 3 months, and I expect for the next 6 months, everything will be not so good, and because everybody are still looking at how to do what is the next move, including our government. And of course, you have to look at the global, what is happening at the global, especially at the US as well. US are still struggling, and there's no doubt that economy of the world is actually depending on the US. If the US economy is booming up, then everybody will be following the boom out. But if the US do it badly, we can't run it away, because US is like a finance center of the world. So, but there is still some opportunities for the fresh grad, the new engineering student that are going to go out work soon. Why I say like that? Because the first thing is you are young, you're a fast learner, and you're technology savvy. I mean, this is just now we got mentioned about IR 4.0. This is the talent, young people that the industry required for now. So, and you are so lucky that you how to say, you comply all these three criteria. So that is your main point, your main power, your main strength, and that is the biggest strength that you have that can compete with the market players. All right. Then if got opportunities, that means there is a challenges as well. The first challenges, I think we have been mentioned quite a few times, job opportunities. If you have job opportunities, then you only have the opportunity to work. If there is no job opportunities, then it's quite hard also. Okay, then the next thing is, how do you compete with the other students? I mean, not only you going to graduate. In Malaysia and from the whole world, you can imagine how many students, you look at your class, how many class members do you have? I think more than 200. That is one class only. Some uni have two classes, I mean 400. Then how many universities that we have in Malaysia? I think we have more than, how many, 20, 30? You time by 30 is about 12,000 people. Do we have 12,000 job opportunities in the market? I think this one, you need to really consider. You need to really consider. And what Mr. Wong has said just now, you must be optimistic, because all the job hunters, all the managers, all the HR managers, all the bosses, if they really wanted to recruit someone, they must recruit somebody that they can confident on it, they can they believe on them and reliable. And every time if you just complain and complain, nothing constructive have been presented by you, then I think you might be losing to the other people. So although the challenges is very, very big now, but like what Chin Liang say, you must be optimistic. You must be get ready for all the opportunity that might come to knock on your door. Make sure when the opportunity came, you must be really ready. You don't want when the knock, then you're like, oh, kelang kabut, don't know what to do. I think people already, the confidence level already dropped to 50%. So yeah, I think that is the opportunities and the challenges for the engineering student now.
Yeah, so when Felix, when you're saying that, okay, when people knock the door, so when you knock the door, do you think you want to open or not? So we come to the salary. So maybe Benny, your side, just now you're mentioning there's a one question private message to you talking about salary. So it's now, is you open the door, you ask for how much? Something like this, right? Benny, maybe you can tell us about this one.
Okay, no doubt they will still have limited choices. The opportunity not as excuse me, not as much as previous before this COVID pandemic. So just now I just sent the rehiring intent of the industry. So this industry will still rehire. All right, some of my friends will still land few jobs amid this COVID pandemic. Okay, we still need people to move. So we are pushing on certain industry to expand. Not really quite expand, but like you say, one of the top rehiring is Top Glove. That will be very obvious because of the production of the glove is very high. So there is not all negative. There are some industries that are still striving. And looking at that, but we cannot expect the same range of salary in the market right now. So students, when you come out, you have to really expect a lower salary range, right? And a higher workload. Even the companies have been withholding, even myself, I have to work now 2 to 3% load right now. Okay, this is the reality of the market at the moment. So that Felix also mentioned, Mr. Chin, Mr. Wong also mentioned. So everyone is striving to stay relevant, trying to compete, and then trying to push forward that means you cannot just walk, you have to really strive hard on the market. So salary wise, we know that previously a lot of them are asking about engineers 2005 to 3000, civil probably higher, M&E it will probably lower a bit. On that range, fresh grad, now we only, if you're looking at it, most probably about 2000 onward. That will be a lower range. That will be the market at this moment if they are hiring. So maybe for this, during this period, there will be a lower salary, but I'm not I cannot predict what will be the next year, but let's be hopeful for what is to come. And then not to debate over the argument of salary like, oh, not 2005, don't want to work. All right, because we all are trying to strive to push the economy up, and we still need people to work to have productivity.
Yeah. So we're talking about definitely for those students who are going to graduate this year, you'll face the biggest challenge. Because like what Felix just now mentioned, if your class got 200 students, then plus multiply by, let's say, 30 university, there's a huge number of fresh graduates coming out to looking for a job. I don't think we have so many vacancy in the market now. So what do you think? So Jilan, what do you think? How do them prepare now? What if for the, maybe we can categorize like graduates, the one going to graduate soon, and those, I think those still studying in first year. It's like what Philip said. You don't need to worry. You just study. Just ask yourself. You want to be an engineer. You just keep moving. But those who going to graduate, Jilan, your side, do you think what should they prepare?
Okay. First, I agree what Phyllis, just on the speaker Phyllis say. So for the final year student, so you only got two options. One, you are further your study. In case you are not getting any offer from the job, and there are not any opportunity currently, not any opportunity. Second is you will try to look whatever job in the market now. So since you are the background is engineering, it doesn't matter you want to become engineering. So just depends on your family. I mean, some of the family that really need your income to support. So you have no choice. So just now the analysis asking about what you all need to preparation is first. Just now the first point I mentioned is interaction. Okay, secondly is you try to improve yourself. So you must get.
I think Jilan's side maybe okay.
Hello.
Jilan, your side, your network is okay?
Okay, it's okay.
Yeah, I think now it's okay, but maybe the network is not so good.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Hello. Can hear?
Yeah, can hear you now.
Okay. Second is you need to prepare yourself. So how to improve your skills, not only the soft skill, also your personality. Your personality is very very important. So is it you are able to accept multiple of tasks? If let's say the company they hire you, become engineer, but you are engineer, you want to do the costing, you want to do a draftman, you want to become a designer, and also you want to do whatever like the officer also. Okay. Don't think you are graduate from the university, but when you come up to this one, the industry, you are start from zero. Of course, you have a knowledge become your basic, but your experience you can consider become the start zero. It is a beginner to learn. So don't care about whatever the company give you a task. Just channel it lah. Just have to channel it. So this is my advice to the final year student.
So basically it's like you actually have to, it's your mindset. It's your mindset actually how you actually take this difficulties.
Challenge.
So the challenge. So just like what Benny just now mentioned also, if there's a fresh grad coming to me with being knowledge, perhaps I will get him also, he or her. Then she or her can actually teach my drafting, which means you actually need to equip yourself. You have to make how to make yourself outstanding than others. This is a very strong point. them, maybe Dr. Iza, your side, what do you think? What the students should prepare?
Okay, correct. I totally agree. Actually, the change of mindset, students, you are ready. I can say you guys are ready. You guys are very resilient. Okay, get to know all the technology. Okay, get to know even though you don't know. Try to find all the trainings program. I'm sure there's a lot. Webinar session. There's a lot. Full equip yourself with knowledge. All right. Try to develop your soft skill. Like I mentioned, nowadays all these companies, they are looking into a very highly committed person. So try to show your effort, try to show your commitment, um, and like I mentioned, don't be scared. Okay, uh, just get to know in your mind. Once you have the knowledge on Beam, for example, you will get extra input. So as for now, if let's say you try to apply job, you can't get, at the same time, don't stop, don't feel like so down. Okay, try to be positive, always learn and learn and learn. So I mean, try to, okay, if I cannot go this way, what are the next strategy that I have to go? So put yourself, be productive, and yet again, try to always ask seniors or a practitioner, what should I do if I try already this way but I couldn't get the path on that way. So what are the things that I should go? Maybe should I go into education, for example, because you already tried to apply for job, but and at the same time you try to learn Beam, and you already mentioned that you are very good in Beam. You still new, but at least you know, but there is no job. So try to divert a bit, or maybe the rezeki. This is what we call as rezeki lah. I'm sure I mean everybody knows that rezeki. So try to direct yourself, be positive. With this pandemic, it is actually improve yourself in a way, and that is the things that I think I would like to share up lah to all the
Okay.
students.
Yeah, thank you, Doctor. So, Felix, do you think that actually in this post-pandemic, what do you actually see for the engineering student? Do they actually have more chances when it comes to this after this post-pandemic? Because now we are moving to the IR 4.0. So, do you think actually engineering students have the highest advantage than others?
Yep, Alexis, I'm truly agreed of what you have stated. That is the most important things that I wanted to bring up in today's talk. Engineering students is still very, very valuable, regardless of what is happening around the world, whether it's going through a recession or going to the another level, to the IR 4.0 and 5G. Because why? Because if you look it carefully, who make the IR 4.0 happen and who makes the 5G happening now? It's all engineers. There's nothing can substitute engineers in this world. Why I say like that? Because like AI it only is invented by the human, invented by the engineers, but it cannot really think like an human being, like engineering students, how they think or engineer on the field. It totally cannot be substituted, cannot be replaced. AI IR 4.0 only can replace for the things, the jobs that have been done repetitively. No need to think much one. Like I'm not trying to offend any other people, but I'm just stating the fact, like packaging, like logistic wise, some construction trade, like doing the columns, the wall. All this can be done by using AI and IR 4.0. Like just now we got mentioned that, like the column and beam, it can be precast on the factories, and during the factories, who is doing the works? Now we are still depends on some of the workers, but I think later on we will need to depend on the machine. Because why we need? Because the machine can help us to control the quality and the time and the cost. if you're talking about controlling the how to say managing a human being, these three parts sometimes is not so reliable if you compare to the machine, because human being also they have their feelings. Sometimes it depends on their moods. They have their own personal problems, but there is nothing that this machine will have like personal problem. He don't have any personal problems. He only can do work or cannot do work. If cannot do work, we just repair it. That's it. So you don't worry about the engineering student. Your engineering student for this for our future, you have a bright future. Just that unfortunately now because of this pandemic, then the things might be slower a little bit. But if you look at it, if we compare to the previous recession on 2008 or 97, 98, actually the pace of the recovery rate is quite fast if you compare to during that time. You can see from the stock market not going down and keep on reaching the top and keep on getting the highest point from compared to for the past 3 months, for the past half year. Why is this happening? Because the people mindset are different already. And of course, this technology also help us. Last time when people going to invest in stock market, they need to go through by the office, by the remisier, all those things. But now they can do it themselves by just clicking their phone, just using the internet, 4G, maybe 5G. So you can see the differences of if you compare with the previous time, we actually are still okay. We still got food to eat. We still got a place to stay. Some people, they are lucky, they still have jobs. Some not lucky, they don't have job, but government still giving them some bantuan, some buffer for them to relieve their stress, because now all of us no need to pay for the loan. So because the moratorium is still running, so you can see that all these are happening because of the technology, and who managing this technology, there's no doubt it is the engineer. It's not the politician. It's not it may be by the government, but the government's engineers. So there's nothing to worry about it. Yep.
Yeah, so what you say is quite right. So because of this, during this recession is due to this post-pandemic, but indirectly actually bring us to the IR 4.0. So when it comes to the IR 4.0, it's come to the technology, biology, data. So actually engineer play a very important part in this one. So now we actually want to enter the second session of Q&A. We actually trying to invite all the students to open their video, and we can actually turn to the speaker view. So if any one of you want to ask the panelists face to face, you could actually raise your hand. Then we actually can open your audio to us. So when we come to this, before maybe anyone, if you want to raise your hand, maybe you want to think first. Okay. So perhaps because we got one question in the chat box. If on the Yumiswalam, his question, my question is, during a hiring process as an employee, would you give priority to someone has higher experience or someone rich with soft skill, including being Revit, etc.? We all know it requires experience in construction industry, but with IR 4.0, experience might not be as important as software skill. If I am not wrong. So I think this one is talking about the construction. Maybe Jilang, your side, you want to answer this question?
Okay, the student, Yumiswara. Okay, thanks for the question. So I think just now speaker Benny also got mentioned about how to implement the BIM, the software. So although we know we are going to step into this one, the IR 4.0, definitely some of the software is really useful, and we need to learn how to use the new technology to implement to our new construction. Of course, just now the Benny said, if we want to invest in one of the software, the BIM, is costly, like compared to what we are using now. And second things, now the authorities is not really not strictly to enhance and enforce all the conductor and consultant firm to using the BIM. There's a in fact the university they already started to learn this one BIM. I mean slowly maybe after 2 and 3 years. I believe that the BIM is quite important to in the construction industry field. The main question is about the experience. Some higher experience for someone rich of skill. Actually, the main point is what for his question.
He actually is asking if there are two persons come to you. One is with experience, one is without experience but got higher education. Maybe he or she know how to use BIM, how to use Revit. So how do you choose these two?
I see. For me, I will ask some question about about the personality lah. Although how tailored you using a soft skill, but your mindset and your personality got problem, do you think I will hire you? Definitely no. So nowadays the young people, they only know their talent only, but they forget about what is their personality. Sometimes the personality always will affect your future. They affect your future. I mean, in your career. So although your soft skill, actually the soft skill, everyone can learn one though. Although the uncle auntie, you still also can learn. Just put some time to effort on this one, or the technology and the skill they can learn everyone. So for the first skill is not important. The important is a personality and your mindset. This is one thing. Although the old uncle, although he do know how to use soft skill, but the uncle personality is very good attitude. I think with the good attitude, of course, the uncle can learn the soft skill easily. So when you see the uncle have a soft skill but good attitude, but you only have a soft skill but your attitude is bad, which one you prefer? I think the answer everyone you know now. Okay, this is what my advice lah.
Maybe if anyone of you have the question, you can actually raise your hand. I actually see some of the students actually open their video, so good to see you. So do you want to ask is there any question you want to ask? Or maybe we were talking about because I can see that now actually engineering student, like what Felix actually mentioning, you actually had a higher chances than other discipline of student, because actually we are in the IR 4.0, so your chances is actually higher. Just that we are now in the transition period. It's come to a recession, so you might need to wait. I would think you need to wait for maybe few years, but don't worry, you are still young, right? So Dr. Iza, what do you think?
I mean, I don't think it will take too long. Okay, looking into the Bonston's, the one that I share just now, I mean, the construction industry is blooming quite fast. So I can say that, yes, it might be a problem just a few months, but I'm sure after 4 months, 5 months, I mean, we're talking about next year, the boom is there. So actually, I like that question. Experience or soft skill? I agreed with Engineer Chin. Yes, you need to have a very good, you have to have a very good, clean inner. So even though you don't have experience, it's okay, because even me myself now, I can say that I don't have enough of experience, but experience can be brushed, can be learned, can be groomed. So I mean, don't worry, just like I mentioned to you, I keep on saying, try to learn, try to look into, because there is YouTube. So if you don't know, I mean, while waiting for the job, learn. I mean, it's all about changing the mindset. And again, when it comes to what is your expected salary, don't mention. You said, I'm willing to learn. I'm willing, as long as you're able to hire me, I'm okay with the salary. as for now. So don't be demand. Yes, I know with our current, I mean, everything is very expensive. The expenses is very expensive, but I'm sure, looking at the students being resilient, you know how to well plan your, I mean, your money wise, your and try to adapt. Always think positive. Don't blame others. That will lead to the very best of you. Actually, that's it.
Yeah. So Benny, what do you think? We are our talk actually about to come to the end. Do you think anything you want to add on?
Okay, just now I like the question. It was a very good question. Whether you give priority to somebody who has higher experience or someone with rich with soft skills. So we look at what is the need, what the company needs. Do you need some manager who have higher experience with good discernment? We talk about discernment. Somebody who is good with higher experience can know how a person relate with one another, the cultural context or the Malaysian context. They like to have face. Yeah. All right. Yes, like we're talking about attitude. Are you sensitive to certain things? How do you convince? How do you persuade somebody to do something? That one will have somebody who have higher experience to command somewhere along that line, right? Soft skills is a technical skills where everyone can learn. But what differentiate between a technician and a professional is ethics, right? It's the ethics of how we can progress in handling things subjectively and objectively. So we don't put like personal matters into when we're dealing with business. I mean, that's why we need people who have experience, who can be self-control, not flaunting. I know this, I know that, I know this, so I can command a higher fee. So it all talks about a person who the in this context, if you say higher experience, can be somebody who know how things are being done regularly, right? Which certain decision made can save in a short period of time. He can save a lot of wastage. Or somebody without experience have to do a lot of homework. Maybe he had to spend 2 days or 3 days to be able to get the result of now only I know why this is cheap. Somebody with experience can shorten that 3 times and shorten a lot of works. That's where you need people who have experience versus somebody who has skill. I would say it is a combination. If you have both, it will be the ideal case. But sometimes we have somebody who has experience to lead somebody who has soft skill, so they can work together to achieve a goal. So if you're talking whether priority, look at the company needs, right? If I allow a lot of people who are rich in soft skill, but I also need somebody who have experience to look at how the things are being done.
Yeah. So what?
Yep, Alexis, I would like to ask. I would like to add some points on this one. This is quite an interesting question. So now I just realized there are two types of soft skill. One soft skill is when you're dealing with people. One soft skill is when you're using your software. So yeah, I think these two also consider soft skill. But Umeswaran, maybe I share with you why the soft skill. I mean, interaction. People to people is quite important also, regardless of whether it's IR 4.0 or before IR 4.0, because you need to bear in mind that when you're doing one project, you are not only dealing with your hardware, you're not dealing just with the machine. You must dealing with human being as well. So it's not saying that if you are very thorough in doing the design, doing the controlling the machine, all those things, uh, you still need to liaise with other people as well. I give you an example, like from let's say we do a project, you as a designer or you as a consultant, contractors, you also will have a client. That's the first thing. How do you deal with a client? So that one, the soft skill came in the first place first. Yeah. Then after that, you have a good talk with the client, then the client agreed with what you have proposed, then only you're able to to move to the second step. When the second step is where you use your software. Yep. But in the first step, you won't using your software talking with your client one. That one won't be happening now. I'm not sure in the future, but for the time being, 10 to 20 years, the first you still need to talk to your client. You need to have personal touch. Then that's it. Then after you move it, then during the construction, you as a consultant, you as a designer, you need to talk to the contractor on site as well. Are you just going to talk using software, email? No, it's not going to be work. You still need to go to the site and talk personally to the personnel on site, to the construction manager, whatever, to solve all this problem. Because sometimes you speak is much more faster than you put in all the emails, documentation. Sometimes some things maybe can be resolved within 1 second. But if you put in email, it might be take 3 days, right? I'm not trying to ask you to taking shortcut, but that is the fact. Then the last stage will be when the building is completed, you need a CCC, you need a certified that this building is fit to occupy. How do? You still need to liaise with authorities people, and you're not going to use email. Maybe some emails, some borang you need to fill in, but of course, the how to say, at last also you need to talk to them. You need to bring to them side. You need to bring them to your site. You need to explain what is happening, what we are going. Is it all the things has been fulfilled, all the requirements? I mean, all this is interaction that requires soft skill. That's why certain company, you are not wrong. They sometimes they prefer experience, or sometimes they prefer also got company that they prefer a fresh grad one. I'm not going to lie to you. That is what is happening. So like what Benny said just now, it depends on what are the requirements that the company required. Okay, sometimes you need a young, fresh people. Sometimes you need a much more experienced people to handle certain things. But some experienced people, they might have lacks of knowledge of especially doing BIM, this building information modeling. It's a new thing, but Europe, I think Europe, America, I think China and Korea, Japan, I think they are imposing it as well. So it will be a trend. It will be a requirement from the government. I think like just now, Dr. got say, they are trying to say if the project is more than 1 million, 2 million, then you must impose BIM, which I think is a good sign. It's a good sign. It's a good sign to the construction industry, and it's a good sign to the engineering students as well. Because why? Because you have the opportunities that all so-called experienced people doesn't have. So you must very, very grab the opportunities to show what you have. Yeah. So this is how you compete with the existing players in our industry. Yeah, that's it from me, Alexis.
Yeah. So Jillian, you said you had anything you want to add on?
Okay, the last okay, like our contractor or engineer, wherever we want to build out the one building, so we are start from one piece of paper. So the paper is a drawing, right? So the drawing, everything we draw inside the drawing, then we only can build out the building. Okay, this is so-called a construction. So our life also. So for the young people, for the student, although it's a first year or final year student, so let's take out one piece of paper and use a one pen and just blend your future. You write down what you want now, okay, and then you draw up what your future you want to go. So don't become the final years. They say, oh, now I'm an engineer, so where I want to go. Consultant, contractor, you write out. You draw it. You draw the arrow, then where you want to go. So this is my advice for all the young men. Don't panic it, and then don't stress for your future. So you still a lot of opportunity in the market. All right. So these are my last point to share.
Thank you, Jillian. There's one more question coming in. I think it's a good question also. Is it from Prasanna Sri Ravi? Question is, what is your advice to graduates who are looking to be an entrepreneur? So, who want to answer this question?
Okay, my first advice is find a mentor. An entrepreneur will need to take risks. You like to know what are the risks ahead. Find a mentor who willing to guide you. What kind of risks are you going through? Because you are looking into business. You also want to know how to manage your finances, how to make sure that your product can sell, and how to make money. I mean, entrepreneur is looking at some innovation, either in terms of innovation or services that you like to endeavor. Find for people who are in this entrepreneur so that they can preempt you. What are the challenges that you may face? What are the fallback you may want to prepare yourself so that you don't give up halfway. Entrepreneur is a hard road. It's not an easy road, right? I believe why you ask this question, you also seen a lot of successful story. But remember, a lot of successful story, how about those who are not successful? You may only heard the successful one, but the unsuccessful one is as many or even more than the successful entrepreneur.
How about
Yeah.
Dr. Iza? What do you think?
I kind of like, because nowadays we are all, I mean, like, even you always buy stuff from Shopee. That is very good. But what kind of business it should be? Yes, again, I agree with Benny. Try to get mentor. Try to find what are you good at. I can see, even though you finish your degree in engineering, you're not might be an engineer. You might be an entrepreneur. There's a lot. There's quite a number of success story. Correct. Try to face again. Be positive. Try to look into the whole scale. What are the ideal business that you should go into? Even though you have knowledge on engineering side, but maybe because of this pandemic, you think that, oh, it's good for you to have a business platform, for example, to teach BIM, because I can see that um, online teaching for BIM is quite good nowadays. Maybe you start off with a very cheaper price, 10 ringgit per session, for example. So these are the things that, be creative, because success story from this business online is they are creative enough to think. So it's good, okay? Try to divert, but at the same time, try to be on track. So it's about you yourself, plan your whole life. So to be success, I'm sure you have to be, what we call that, variable to play around. So good
Yeah,
question. Yep.
So I think this question also back to what just now our speaker Felix mentioned just now. What made you enter this engineering course? First of all, you have to think first. Why you want to choose this engineering course? There must be some reason why you want to choose this one. Whether you want to go into this engineering field, this is another second thing after you graduate. So ask yourself first, what do you actually want to do? And so now in our today talk, we pass this view to our MC now. Thank you, MC.
Thank you, Alexis. I believe there's another question from the same person, Prasanna, in the chat box. Especially with all these economic impacts due to a pandemic, is it ideal to start a business related to engineering now? Any speakers would like to share something to the audience on this question?
Yep, I think I can answer a little bit on that one.
I was thinking maybe Prasanna, you want to open your video since you got two questions here. I actually was quite interested because you are talking about the engineering business. What kind of engineering business actually what are you mentioned? Do you want to actually tell us? Oh, maybe Felix, you want to just continue?
Yep. Okay. I think Prasanna is too shy, but anyway, never mind. Just now you say the engineering related business. So in your mind, what is engineering related business? I'm not sure. You are still studying in university, right, Prasanna? I presume. So maybe okay, all right. So I think maybe you still not too sure how this construction industry works. Okay, if you are saying engineering related, yes or no, there's a lot, and there might be not many as well. So because why? Because engineering field, construction field has been around, I think, more than 3,000 years in this world. easily can up to 4,000. So all the big things, all the main things, people have been established for quite long time ago. Let's say we're talking about Malaysia. I think all the old companies, they maybe have in this industry for maybe 40 to 50 years. So they are doing the so-called business that everybody know, like concrete, batching plant. They might be selling steel bars or some M&E items, DB box, wiring, all those things. So if you are looking at that way in that direction, it might be quite a tough way to go. Because why? Because you are still new, you're coming out, nobody knows you, and others, your so-called existing competitor has been there for 40 years. You have a good connection in these industries. So if let's say you are the buyer, you are the customer, buying with the people that you know, quite established, reputable, have been done a lot of construction before, and one is a newbies in this industry. If you were the customer, who you will choose is the question number one. Then the second thing is, do you have enough money, enough capital to sustain your business or not? If you are fighting with this so-called established company, if you cannot even tahan for 6 months, then I think the company will easily kick you out already. I mean, your competitor, because they can survive at least for maybe 2 to 3 years. But if you 6 months, so you cannot go through, then you cannot fight with them. Because if that is a big company, I think most likely you will lose to them lah. Yep, this is a fact. Then the third one is, if you are really going to do the engineering related business, you must think out of the box. You must think out of the box that is related to IR 4.0 or even 5G. That is my advice to you. Because why? Because the local, we don't compare with the Google, the Microsoft, the Facebook. You don't compare with them. We just compare just a local Malaysian company, not too big, not too small. They might be lack of knowledge about IR 4.0 and 5G. Just like what Dr. has said just now. Beam, yes, Beam is not popular yet. If you are going to start now, you better start now, because you will become one of the pioneer. And if you started to do your engineering related business now, you are not going to making money yet, at least for the 6 months, or maybe more than that, maybe 1 year, 2 years. Then that one will lead to whether you're persistent enough or the perseverance inside you is strong enough to sustain. 2 years later, people will know who are you, and you will gain the confidence from everyone. Then amount of word of mouth, people will introduce your name to their friends or their families or their customer base. That will be only happening 2 years later on. And we are lucky that now the internet is very advanced. So we no need to spend a lot of money doing advertising, promoting, marketing. If you are technology savvy, you can use Facebook, you can use Google, you can use YouTube, some even using Instagram or TikTok, all those things. Yeah, but you will need a commitment team members to help you out. Yeah, that is my advice on that things.
Yeah, so thank you, Felix. So once again, I pass the mic to the MC.
Thank you, Alexis. Okay, now we come to the end of the talk. I believe the students here have gained a lot of information from each of our speakers, Engineer Benny, Dr. Itza, Mr. Wong, and Engineer Felix. Thank you so much for all of the very insightful comments and views to the students. I would like to also thank our moderator, Alexis, too. Last but not least, thank you to all of you for spending this lovely morning with us. I wish you all have a pleasant weekend ahead, and I will see you next time. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you.
Are we going to
Take picture? Are we going to snap picture?
Yeah, I just now already take the picture.
Oh, okay.
So maybe
how to take a picture?
Print screen. Maybe we can have like all the participants to take a
Okay,
picture,
okay,
maybe?
okay, sure. So let me take the picture now. So perhaps you can open your video. I think I saw some open video. I saw Jeannie, Atira, Iskandar, Krana, Lukman, Roman,
I
Shafika.
know.
Finally, I saw you. Okay, so we take the
Atira.
picture.
Yeah, okay.
So okay. I will count three. 1, 2, 3. Smile. Okay, another one more time. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Smile. Okay, thank you so much for
Thank
everyone
you.
here.
Yeah, thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
Yeah,
Thank you, guys.
thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.